stalemate in Oklahoma budget negotiations continues. Legislators establish a new fund to aid tornado victims. And the Oklahoma Corporation Commission considers dropping no-bid contracts. We'll have details on the KGOU AM News Brief for Tuesday, May 14th. I'm Nick Daniels. Governor Kevin Stitt and legislative leaders met again Monday to negotiate a budget for fiscal year 2025. Oklahoma Voice reports for the third day they adjourned without an agreement. Stitt and House Speaker Charles McCall have been pushing for an income tax cut. Senate Pro Tem Greg Treat said he would not put the matter up to a vote.
Governor, I'm telling you, it's like I've told you since day one. You don't run the Senate chamber. I decide what goes up for a vote on the Senate floor in consultation with my caucus. I'm not going to sit here and give control of the Senate to the governor.
Would you do any kind of tax cut this year?
Yeah, grocery tax, $408 million.
But not an income tax.
Lawmakers approved a grocery tax cut earlier this year, but Treat says the state can't afford to cut more taxes. Legislative leaders and the governor are expected to reconvene. The budget needs to be finalized by the end of May when session adjourns. Staying at the Capitol, a new state fund for people impacted by recent tornadoes will soon be available. State Capitol reporter Lionel Ramos has details on two measures lawmakers passed yesterday to help pay for natural disaster response.
Members of the House and Senate convened for a Joint Committee on Appropriations and Budget, or JCAB meeting, to approve two bills aimed at relieving Oklahoma towns ravaged by recent tornadoes. The measures approved were House Bills 2912 and 2913. One creates the Disaster-Impacted Local Economies Revolving Fund. The other appropriates $45 million to seed it, with enough money for places like Sulphur, Barnsdall, and other impacted communities to pay for rebuilding costs. House Fiscal Chair Kevin Wallace says the new fund is in addition to an existing money pool the Oklahoma Emergency Management Office uses to match federal relief money, and it will be state-funded as needed. I'm Lionel Ramos.
The Oklahoma Corporation Commission is considering dropping so-called no-bid contracts. OPMX's Grayson Wheeler reports the move comes after Oklahoma State Auditor Cindy Byrd identified large-scale mismanagement of taxpayer money last month related to the practice.
Competitive bidding is meant to ensure contract work is the most cost-effective use of taxpayer dollars for the state. The Oklahoma Office of Management and Enterprise Services introduced a new set of rules in 2019 under which a company could secure a, quote, statewide contract and no longer be required to compete with other businesses to offer the lowest price. Since Byrd's audit report, state agencies haven't been sure whether contracts they made under those rules are valid. The Oklahoma Corporation Commission has identified 8 vendors they contracted with under the questionable rules. The commission is still working with at least 6 of those. Now, Commissioner Bob Anthony is moving to adopt the state auditor's policy on these types of contracts. He says he hopes to, quote, ensure unquestionable agency compliance with state statutes going forward. I'm Grayson Wheeler.
And the full Corporation Commission will consider the new rules in a meeting today. The Oklahoma City Thunder evened their playoff series with the Dallas Mavericks at 2 games apiece Monday night. OPMX's Ryan LaCroix reports on the 100-96 win.
The Thunder played from behind for most of the game and were down by as many as 14 points in the third quarter. But OKC hit a few clutch three-pointers late and made 23 of their 24 free throw attempts, while Dallas only hit 12 of their 23. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, who led the Thunder with 34 points, said they knew exactly what they needed to do.
We just stuck to it. We just plugged away, took it possession by possession, and eventually the game turned for us. We've been in a situation a lot. We've been down double digits. I think we lead the league in double-digit comebacks. We've been there before, and we just knew what it took, and we got it done tonight.
The series now shifts back to the Paycom Center for Game 5 on Wednesday night. In Oklahoma City, I'm Ryan LaCroix.
You'll find more news at our website, kgou.org, and on the KGOU PM News Brief podcast.
Hi, it's Terry Gross, the host of Fresh Air. We bring you in-depth, long-form interviews with actors, directors, musicians, authors, journalists, and more. Listen to our Peabody Award-winning Fresh Air podcast from WHYY and NPR.